The holiday season in Boston just got better. From weekly drone shows to holiday markets, there's one organization that's making sure there's plenty to do after the holidays. Meet Boston is calling this Boston Frostival. It's the inaugural winter festival taking place all across the city. I spoke with them to learn more about all the fun and exciting events they've got planned for Boston area visitors this holiday season. So this is the inaugural Frostival event?
It is. First time ever. We're excited.
What is Frostival?
So it's an array of programming and events and festivals that will kick off during the holiday season. In fact, coming up starting this weekend with the drone shows that will carry right into first quarter, right into January and February. And it's just an opportunity for us to activate different neighborhoods, first with, holiday flair and festivities, but really to find ways to introduce novel events and experiences that will drive more interest in winter in Boston, right? So for both residents, of course, that want to come into the city, but also visitors, right? Driving overnight is really the key for us. So, we have a great lineup of iconic events that already happen in Boston. We have great holiday theater, we have great sporting events, we got a great culinary scene, we've got the ice skating, the holiday lights, the holiday markets. We wanted to add to that new programming that would entice new visitation.
Yeah, and what I love about this is kind of you're linking or creating a bridge from the holidays over into deep winter, let's just say. And in, the last 5 years, if the Patriots aren't making deep runs into the playoffs, once you get past New Year's, for, non-skiers and skaters, January into February can be a pretty bleak time, but what you're doing is now creating gathering spaces and events for that.
Exactly. We're activating spaces where people can convene, enjoy themselves. And you're exactly right. We wanted to take the magic that always characterizes holiday in Boston and create momentum beyond that for the first quarter, right?
Yeah.
So if you're excited about holiday, if you're excited about, going to the Snowport Holiday Market or the SOA Market, or being over in Charlestown or ice skating on the Common, you're not worried about outdoor temperatures. You see that as a seasonal, embrace almost. So how do we ride that into the first quarter, right? Where if there is snow or cold, well, you know what? We have the fun programming to complement it, right? So and when you're talking about, a Ferris wheel in the Greenway with sweeping views of the harbor and the North End and the waterfront, or an activation in Copley Square that coincides with the Winter Olympics and has curling and fire pits and cocktail bars and a ski chalet type of vibe. These are elements that we think will define a Boston winter in new ways. And you're exactly right. We're trying to take that moment that's the holidays and kind of ride that into the first quarter, just to introduce new ideas of what winter in Boston can really entail.
I love it. Okay, so that's the view from 30,000 feet. Let's dive into some of the specifics here. You mentioned the weekly drone shows. Let's start with that. Seems pretty cool.
Yeah, it is very cool. So we're going to be doing those on Saturdays, right into starting this weekend, but right through December 20th. 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock. We wanted one version to be earlier to be more family friendly. What's really cool is the first version of the drone shows that will be happening this upcoming Saturday. We'll also have the FIFA mascots. So the Jaguar from Mexico, the Moose from Canada, and the Eagle from the US. So, the World Cup draw is right around the corner as well. So we had an opportunity to have the mascots come to our first drone show. So that'll be a lot of fun. These are about 15-minute shows. Drone shows have become quite popular. We had an experience in Boston with them in April for the 250th of Paul Revere's ride, and it just kind of captivated people. So we thought, why not program drone shows for the holidays, right? So, and you'll see it for yourself, but, imagine a mix of iconic, holiday stories, vignettes mixed with Boston affiliated vignettes, all sparkling throughout the sky. That's the goal. And again, we're doing it twice every Saturday because we want there to be a later option as well for people that maybe are coming into the city later. And again, if we can drive new visitation and overnight stays, even for people from the region or from Greater Boston, make a night out of it, stay overnight. We have as part of our Frostival page, almost 24 hotel packages as well. Right. So we're really trying to make sure that these drone shows, which will be the first specific program associated with Frostival, become a mechanism to drive these overnight stays.
Yeah, I love it. And there are obvious advantages to the drones beyond the captivation, which is so novel
Yeah.
and authentic. But the fact that you can send them up again, unlike explosives,
Yeah, exactly.
you've shot and it's done. It's such a great idea.
And
I
it's a great location, Chris, right? Like on Boston Common, it's a central area, right at the corner of Boylston and Charles. There's, we identified early like a space that would work for them to lift off, but also for people to congregate.
yeah.
So we think it'll just make for like a really fun event.
Uh, and I also like how you said it, you're activating different parts of the city. I felt like when I was growing up and younger, everything was trying, like downtown, just everything
Yeah.
was packed in. But you've got Copley Square, and then you've got a Ferris wheel on the Greenway. Is that correct? Is that happening?
Which will be up for the entire month of February.
Oh my
So
gosh.
that's a 70-foot Ferris wheel that, as I mentioned, will afford riders like a really great sweeping skyline views of so many parts of Boston. And you're exactly right. We wanted to make sure that it wasn't just concentrated in one area, but it could be downtown, South End, Seaport, waterfront. And of course, we'll be promoting all the events happening throughout all of Boston's neighborhoods and Cambridge.
Where does one put a 70-foot tall Ferris wheel on the Greenway exactly?
You're going to find out, Chris.
Oh, I love it. Oh, that's fantastic. I'm there once it happens. And let's explore the Copley Square activation because that sounds.
Sure.
You said
Yes.
you had me at Chalet.
Yeah, so that'll open on February 6th and run through the month. And again, it's just an opportunity for us to program a space where people can come in, feel cozy, kind of again embrace this convivial winter vibe, right? Have plenty of options as it relates to food and drink, and we'll be announcing soon who some of the vendors are we're partnering with to activate the space, right? And recreation, right? That could be everything from I mentioned curling, but we're looking to add in some other kind of outdoor Olympic inspired sort of experiences there. That again will all be revealed very soon. But it's a place where we think that people can go and have fun, right? And be part of winter in Boston in a way that we've never really programmed before.
Yeah, 100%. And I want to get to the wine festival because that's at the end of February.
That's right.
And at its worst, I feel like wine can be austere and unapproachable.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like you're addressing this and knocking down both of those barriers at once.
Yes, I mean we've worked with Haley Fortier from Natalie Wine Bar and Haley Henry on a number of just promotional ideas and concepts, right? Not just this wine festival, but how do we make the notion of wine culture more accessible, right? And how do we celebrate the fact that Boston is now a place that has unique and eclectic wine bars that are global in nature, right? So Haley is all in on this concept. And when she approached us with this idea of the FemFet Wine Festival at the Cyclorama at the end of February, we were all in. First of all, convening just, women winemakers and somms and vineyards from across the globe. We're all in on that, right? Because we think that's a unique part of the story. And Haley, of course, is a champion of that story. There's all kinds of other elements beyond just making wine more approachable and accessible around sustainability and how it's done well and how sourcing happens in a way that's sustainable, that are all part of her story. So we're all kind of underlying aspects of this wine festival will entail as well, right? So as women winemakers from all across the globe, we're really excited to be a main sponsor for it. We think it'll complement other sort of food and wine events that happen throughout this part of the year. Obviously we have Valentine's Day. We then have our signature culinary program, Dine Out Boston. And now we have this great kind of bridge between the two in this wine festival that is also like a wonderful way for us to kind of, it'll be sort of like a culminating event for Frostival.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's remarkable. So, David, people access information in different places these days. I feel a lot like almost like if you go to the actual website, you're an old person. But where can people find you across socials and on the web?
Well, for social at Meet Boston USA. But please do visit the website, which is just meetboston.com/Frostival. And all of the programmatic elements that I discussed are there. The overnight packages, which I mentioned, there's about 24 right now, but we're looking to grow those. That's all located there. Itinerary ideas and timelines are all located there. So I would encourage everyone to go to the main Frostival website. Okay. Even if it is old school, to your point, Chris. But of course, meet Boston USA on social as well would be a great place.
One add-end question that I just thought of, and again, this is on background, so don't worry about that. You know, we'll point people to the website without my poor sense of humor. Post holidays for hotels, this partnership again seems very shrewd. I would imagine that might be kind of a lull period where you're getting all the rentals and all the ski resorts up in the mountains,
Right.
sucking up business or sucking up winter lodging. So now it seems like a great time to pull it in and for people to experience the city at a discounted rate at some.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a very important point. You know, and the impetus of this entire thing is the seasonality, right? And that component of it. And us as the destination marketing organization, understanding and seeing that the first quarter is always where hotel numbers and occupancy rate are lower than they are throughout the rest of the year, right?
Yeah.
So everything we do in terms of promoting the destination, if it comes back to filling hotels and driving overnights, you know, then we're checking the box of the overall big picture of what we're tasked to do at Meet Boston, right? So you're exactly right. Like, not only is it great programming and new events for residents, you know, but we've identified this first quarter in February specifically as a time where the hotels need help as well, right? And we tried things in the past around, like, you know, parking discounts or, you know, restaurant discounts. But what we really need is something that adds new and novel elements to a Boston experience, right? So that's what Frostival is and what it does. And in that way, we're enticing, hopefully generating those new overnights, and therefore helping our hotel partners in this need period.
Yeah, and then you create that upward spiral.
Exactly.
For everyone. Awesome.
Exactly.
But I love it. This is just an interesting conversation. I'm glad we can talk about it, chop it up, and use this information to spread the word.
Cool. Thanks so
All
much,
right.
Chris.
If you missed the first drone show, well, you're in luck. 6 more are scheduled to take place this month. You can see the dates right there on your screen.